Alright, let's see if anybody shows up, because it's 8 o'clock for some people, and it's much later for other people, and people are just not used to me even going live. So, we'll see what happens. Do. What's up, YouTube? It's been a and honestly, I just got to get my YouTube juices flowing again. I think I did experience a little bit of burnout. And it was nice just to stop for a while, honestly, and just do theater and just do like work hours and get a paycheck at the end of the week. So it really did allow my brain to rest. And I've been fighting with getting back in the flow of YouTube. Like, if I'm gonna be honest, everybody experiences different levels of burnout, and I definitely hit a burnout after probably around the time of RTR and Schoolie Palooza. And I kept trying to push through and keep putting out something. And I think I just hit a point where it was nice to sort of take a break from feeling like I needed to put out something. Especially, being back here, it was right after COVID, that, you know, everything sort of went away and all I had was YouTube. So I wasn't like I had this like, oh, I'm going to decide to do YouTube. Like, YouTube was the only thing making me money for a while, and I had small jobs here and there, but nothing I could survive off of. So everything I could get was supplementing each other. But then it was like nice to be back in a place where, like, if YouTube didn't make money to feed me, I felt like I was going to survive. So I definitely experienced a little bit of burnout. Yay, people are here. Hi, people. People are around. I'm trying to get my own chat up so I can follow the chat stream a little better. It's hard to follow it on the screen. So I'm just pulling up the chat so I can actually see. Yay, it's coming. Let's see. Oh, cool. Lots of people saying hello. Mary Catch was the first one in here. Ebony Nicole, what's up? SUV Venturing, what is up? Laura Kramer, Jacqueline Nelson, Chris's Worldwide Adventures, Paul Sherman, Leslie Hughes. I see my hardcore OGs from like long term of the channel are here. Rob, happy free gay in the schoolie. What's up? Jacqueline Antonio. All right, cool. So good to see you guys. So there is somebody new living in the box truck, and Mickey's not a big fan. And this is who's living in the box truck now. This is Felix. Felix is still feeling a little bit nervous. Aren't you, Felix? Yes, we are a bit nervous. Yes, we are. Say hi to YouTube. This whole thing smells like Mickey, so you must not hate Mickey as much as he hates you. So this is little Felix. And yeah, he's still adjusting, still figuring out life. Oh, look at him. And up here we got Mr. Grumpy Big Brother, who's not happy right now. Mickey. He's been hissing and very, very not happy. He hasn't like got after him. And funny thing is, like, he came down. Felix was in. I made a little den for Felix over here, and it has like his own little litter box, some food, water, all that stuff. And Mickey was up here for the longest time, and he finally got curious and he decided to come down. Felix made the tiniest little noise, and the big cat ran. It started hissing again. So his reaction seems to be, if Felix makes a noise, he runs away from it. But he's not happy. You are still the star, Mickey. You are still the star. Felix is just a co-star. He's not happy right now. So Mickey is not taking this whole "I'm a big brother" thing very well. He's been right here since Felix got here on this level. Because if he goes down to the lower level, he's gonna meet little Felix here, who's still a little bit nervous and shaky. Yes, he is a little bit nervous and shaky. But, you know, his whole life changed today, so he's still figuring it out. So that's basically, there has to be a better place to put this phone. I need something higher than just a table. Ooh, this box. Let's put it in this box. Let's see. I still don't like that. When it gets too low to my boobs, it looks weird. Oh, darn it. Trying to find a way to sit down the phone where I don't hate it. That's gonna have to do. I mean, all things considered, honestly, it's not bad. Like, I've seen some nightmare, and I was prepared to have to actually close Felix off in the sheltered area with everything he needs, and sort of slowly work the two of them together if it was really bad. I think Mickey knows it's a kitten. He doesn't like it. He does not like it. But he knows it's a kitten, so because he hasn't like tried to do anything to Felix, he just hisses so like Felix will back off, or he just runs away. like that is all. So yeah. We'll see how it goes. If they get to tolerating each other in the same space, like, it's a win. I would love them to become like best buddies and like love each other. But if like they tolerate the fact that they both exist, that'll be enough for me. So yeah, and Felix was kind of like in the back of the carrier, so like the fact that he's out right now and not still hiding is good as well. He after getting here. All right, so let's jump back into the chat and see what people are saying. If my stupid thing will refresh. Hang on. Whoops! It's being stupid. Crack it on here. I'm scrolling backwards. So Rob, happy gay friend of school. He says, "Hey Dawn, totally get it. Had the same issue a little bit ago. Take care of you, my dear." Thank you so much. Yeah. It can get to be really pressurous if you let it, and I just got in a space where I felt like overwhelmed, and so like I'm trying to get myself back in the flow of putting out videos, because it's not for a lot. I have stuff that literally is just not edited. It's just sitting in a folder, and I just cannot get past myself. and yeah, that's what it's been a little bit rough. Antonio says, "Hi Dawn, nice to see you again. Nice to see you as well." SUV Venturing says, "I'll be glad to make anything from YouTube someday. LOL, I need more subbies." I mean, I felt the same way for the longest time too, and like up until like the whole COVID lost my job thing, like it was like, great, I'm making like $200 I can put in the gas tank, because like once I got monetized, see, there's monetized and like you can actually live off of it, which is two different things. And like if I was living in anything but a little minivan, I wouldn't have been able to live off of it. I only made it work because I was living in a minivan at the time like COVID hit, and I lost my original job up here at Oregon Shakespeare Festival, and so I was able to make it work because my cost of living was so low. But before that, like before I really buckled down and said this is all I have, I was making like maybe $200 a month on a good month, and I am back down to that even with 25k subs, because I'm like, I had this job, I was loving it, and I just needed space to like separate from YouTube, and so I just let my revenue drop, and it was hard to watch, but there was also a point where I was like, I mentally need the break, and so I took the break, you know. Um, Julianne says, "Hi Dawn, how are you? How have the show's been going? Show is going great. Most of our audiences have been 600 or more. So I've been very, very happy with the show now that it's up. There are 2 new shows about to start rehearsal, and I am going to be a understudy ASM on 2 of those shows. One of them is running and one of them is going into rehearsal. So, but that I'll just be studying a track to basically take it over. If need be, or in one of them, I know there's a gap where the ASM is missing, so I'll be doing their track. I'm excited about it. It is a lower load than building a show from nothing, because you basically, the job's already built. You just learn what the other person is doing, and then you just do it backstage in their absence. So it's definitely a different type of load, and I can kind of just go to work. It's less having to bring those things home with me, because there's less. I'm not building a show. The show's built. I'm just learning it for the next 2 things where I am an AS, and I'm still running Tempest. And now that Tempest's up, all I have to do is rinse and repeat. We just do the show over and over again, and that's way easier than when like the show was in rehearsal and it was changing all the time, and then it was in tech and there were changes in tech. So that's a little bit different. I'm behind the chat as usual, guys, but I'm catching up. I know while I was showing the cats, I couldn't really read the chat. Yes, I said cats, plural, for anybody who just showed up. There are now 2 of them in my box truck, and one of them is very, very upset right now. Mickey is still not feeling this whole I'm a big brother thing at all. He's like, I don't like this. I'm protesting this happening. And then Felix is just trying to get comfortable in a new space. I didn't know what I wanted to name him at first, and somebody came up with the name Felix, and so that's kind of the name I liked, and so I stuck with it. So yeah. Ebony Nicole says, "Oh my God, 2 cats. Mickey is probably not having it." Mickey is not having it. He's very upset about this whole situation. Princess Pamela said Grumpykins. Pat Richardson said, "Hi Dawn, what state are you in now?" I am still in Oregon. I am in Ashland, Oregon, though. So I am not. Yes, I saw Ember was born. Ember is gorgeous. I am so happy for them. They have like a beautiful kid. But I am quite a ways from Eugene, so I cannot easily get up to Eugene, Oregon, especially not between my work schedule. So I am in Ashland, Oregon. The city is important. I am in Ashland, Oregon until October. The end of my contract is in October. It's literally like 3 days before my birthday. My birthday is October 18th. Yeah, I didn't lie. My birthday is October 18th. My last day on contract is October 15th. So I'm here for a bit. Leslie Hughes say, "Mama, what you gone and done to Mickey? How dare I give him a companion of his own species?" He really hates me for it. His face, his expressions are so funny. He looks so upset. I'm upset, Mickey. Are you too upset? It's like, "Mama, what did you bring in here and why is it still here? It was supposed to leave." Sarah! Hey, what's up? Says, "Welcome to Felix." IMG says, "Sorry, just joined. How did the new kitty find you?" So I was on a website I shouldn't have been on. And somebody made a post and they said they had one little cat left from a litter and they were really desperate to find it a new home, because they couldn't keep the kitten. And I was like, that was kind of Mickey's situation too. He was kind of like the last of a litter where somebody was desperately trying to get the last kitty rehomed. And it felt like such an echo of the Mickey situation that I was like, maybe this is the one. Because I've been thinking about getting a second cat before Mickey gets too old for a while now. The older cats are as solo cats, the harder it is to like blend them in with other cats. And I also preferred getting a kitten because I feel like the pecking order isn't really going to be challenged as much. So, you know, Mickey's still relatively young. He's only a little bit over 2 years old, and I figured if I got a kitten, he at least knows he's the boss. Like, there's nobody. Felix is not even remotely trying to challenge him being the boss. He's like, cool, bro. Back up. And so like I have faith and hope that once sort of Mickey realizes this thing isn't leaving, he'll be like, fine. And also, like, when I do work late, I do feel bad because I'm tired and I get back to the box truck and Mickey's like, great, you're here, we're gonna play. And I'm like, sure, string. So I think once they adjust to each other, even if they're just tolerating each other in in each other's space, it's somebody who can give him some energy, because they're going to sleep, you know, like cats sleep, and then be up together, and neither of them will have worked the work schedule that I worked. So that I'm too tired to like really engage as much as I would like to. Because I used to try to play with Mickey like every night, and I ain't gonna lie, sometimes right now, especially when I was teching until midnight, I would come back exhausted, and I'd be like, I love you, Mickey, but all I can do is put out some food and go to bed. Yeah. Julianne says, oh, what a cute little gray kitty, but the name Felix portrays such a grouch personality. You don't remember the cartoon Felix the Cat? There was a cartoon that was called Felix the Cat. There was a couple things. I wanted something that was really simple. I wanted something that sounded really different from Mickey, because when you're training animals to understand their name, if their names are too close, sometimes that can be a problem. So I wanted a name that sounded really distinct. And I don't know what I liked about Felix. People started throwing out names at me, and my boss's wife, who is like the queen of cat rescue, so much they don't have a third cat, except they do, because she rescued it and they have it in a separate room. And she threw out a couple of names, and one of them was Felix, and I was like, I think I like that. And so it sort of stuck, and I said, I'm gonna give that one a try. And I've sort of decided that's his name, and I'm just gonna stick with it. I am terrible at naming things. People always like, name the box truck. She's like, you know how I struggle just naming things that are actual living things versus inanimate objects. Sarah says only child problems. SUV Venturing says, give it till the end of the week, Mickey will be all good. Leslie says, do you have room for 2 litter trays? Right now, Felix has a tiny litter tray in his little den that I made for him. There's basically a giant, this is like a little pop-up shelter, and this is like his little private den, and I have a little litter box in there for him. Eventually, once they settle to each other, I am going to try to pare back down to one box, but it's not something I want to force on either of them at this point. Also, he's so tiny, he would actually have a harder time crawling into the box that Mickey's using right now. So until he gets a little bigger, I am going to try to keep a tiny box for him. So yeah. SUV Venturing says, Dawn, are you going to Quartzsite in January? I plan to go like mid-month in January for my first time. SUV Venturing, I honestly don't know. There's the possibility of a job that may interfere with RTR, and it may not. It really depends on what the RTR dates are in comparison to when the job starts and how much travel time I need to do said job. I am going to have November and December off. So those are going to be months where I can like do some stuff. What's going to happen come January is going to depend so much on dates. If the dates work out, yes. If the dates don't work out, no. Because I honestly like getting a paycheck every 2 weeks. be quite honest. I know so many people are trying to quit their jobs and like start van life and all that. But I like that every 2 weeks I get a paycheck. I do like the idea. I wouldn't want to work consistently. I would always want some time off. But I do like that I'm working right now, and every 2 weeks I know like there's a paycheck coming, and it's not predicated on, if I produce video, how many videos I produce, stuff like that. So it depends on the dates for this job, and what the dates for RTR are on. Bambi Rita says, I have 2 males and they love one another. Both are fixed though. Mickey is fixed and Felix will probably get fixed. Not probably. Felix is going to get fixed. I need to start his shot series and all that other kind of stuff. IMG says it's about the cats, not comments. Shara, what's up? Says, hey, I just ran a car shoot. Nice to see you. Deborah Knapp says, it will take a while. Mickey will learn to get along okay with Felix. I have the same here. My captain is 13, and we have a 4-month-old Hopper. She's figuring out captain is just a crump. Yeah. Well, captain is 13. So basically, this is mixing like a senior cat with like some toddler who's running around. Mickey's a little bit closer. Well, I guess Mickey's an adolescent, and now there's a toddler who's because he's about an adolescent in cat years, and now there's this little annoying toddler in the house, and he's not happy with it. Rebecca, touched by a yarn, says, can I make you a knitted hat? Sure. Oh, wait a minute. Somebody sent me a shirt. I got the Star Wars shirt. I don't know if you're in the chat, because I don't know who's in the chat, but I did get the Star Wars shirt. I'll have to make sure I feature that so you know I got it. Thank you for sending it to the theater for me. That was awesome. Chris Worldwide Adventure says, happy Pride Month. Yes, and happy Juneteenth, which only recently became a federal holiday. So yay, happy Pride Month, happy Juneteenth. And also 2 days ago, it was my my mother's birthday. Which I always like to think about. And yay, Sadie! Yes, I got the shirt. It's awesome. But let me go grab it. Woo. See, I got it. But anyway, my mom's birthday was 2 days ago. And even though she's gone, I always kind of like to just acknowledge it. So yeah, a lot going on in June. Where was I? IMG, thank you for the $3 super chat. And oh, the My Hero is so cute. Where was that? I'm reading the chat. Roman B says, Texas here. Hi. Sadie Louise is reminding people to hit the like button. Yes, help me out. Because I went through a dry spell on YouTube. I'm going to try to do better. And, maybe seeing how this whole transition process goes with my cats will make for some entertainment. I have been filming stuff today, just picking up Felix and Mickey, seeing him for the first time and basically freaking out. I opened the door and he was like, oh, cool, you're back. And he heard meow. And he was like, the fuck? He just backed up and ran as far back as he could. Wanderlust says, athlete? Is that athlete? Off topic, but what do you think of that movie, The Black Phone with Ethan Hawke? I haven't seen it. Should I watch it? Is it a good movie? I've always liked good movies. No, stop it. It said there was a problem with the server, so I have to refresh it. Okay. Uh, Barbara Doyle says, hello, Dawn. You do you. That's why we are here. Everybody needs a break every now and then. Take care. Thank you so much. Serenity says, I love Felix. So cute and adorable, beautiful, and gray. Yeah. And I've heard a couple of things his breed. Oh my God, you got a such and such. I'm like, I got a gray cat. He's cute. Serenity says, how's Oregon? Sounds pretty out there. Oregon has weird weather going on right now. Like, it'll be burning hot and then it'll be pouring down raining. And that's been very interesting, especially now that we're actually doing our show and it's outdoors. So we have had shows that were rained on. And if it rains, we still do the show. Like, it has to be actual, like, dangerous weather, like lightning or some sort of serious weather event. If it just rains, we still do the show. So that's been kind of cool. Dawn, can you put the... Actually, I don't think that's the sun. I think that's this light. That's not the sun. The sun is going away. That was just that light. But then it gets really dark in here. That light just does blow out on camera. Like, it's like... Martha Henry Master Gardner says, I love Felix. I remember Felix the Cat cartoon. Thank you. Felix the Cat was a cartoon character. Miss VG3 says, hey, Dawn, great to see you. Good to see you as well. Gail Cousin, hi. She says, hi, Dawn, great to see you. Margaret Foster says, wow, it's been a minute. Haven't seen you for forever. Julianne says, Dawn, have you seen the automatic litter dome that Nomadic Fanatic got for his 2 cats to share? It rotates, rolls like a composting barrel to sift out the cat poop. No! I have to check it out. And I have to look at the dimensions. I have seen, I don't know if it's that one, but I have seen another one that sifts. And it's just so big, it would take up more space than I want to give to a litter box. Right now I do think they need 2 separate litter boxes until they're, like, used to each other. But it's something to look into. Sarah says, rebranding 2 cats, 1 van. And also says, getting a regular paycheck is so nice. I feel you. Yeah, like, you know, it's so great. I know, like, every 2 weeks. Oh, Dylan Michael said, what a new cat. Where? Okay, so this is Felix, who, once he got up here, he's just been hanging out. Say hi, Felix. And this is Grumpy Cat, who's not happy. Hey, Mickey boy. He's just looking out the window now. He's looking anywhere but in the direction where his little brother is. He's like, I don't like the little brother. I'm not going near the little brother. I don't like him. And Felix is just chilling. He's actually out. He spent a long time not coming out of his little den. So I'm just happy he's kind of out here and just chilling. And he doesn't look like he wants to escape, you know. So that's good. Abby Lynn says, Felix does look like he's a Russian blue. That's what they said. He was a Russian blue, but I also heard he could be like a Karat. I think that's what it's called. So he could be either, I think. Also, there is a gray British short hair. He's a cat. You know. He's a cat. That's all that matters. Mickey's just like, screw you, I'm looking outside. Yeah, Tina the Outsider also thinks he's a Russian blue. He could be a Russian blue. A lot of people seem to think he's a Russian blue. Maybe he is. Dorothy says, congratulations on Felix, Dawn. You saved another life. Thank you so much. Lady Bug Out says, Bunny, Lady Bug Out, and Riley are all together in Wyoming. I wish I was there. That's the only thing that sucks about this job is, like, I can't just go. I mean, it's part of, like, the type of job I do. Like, while I'm here, I'm here. And so I can't just, like, up and go too far. And also, honestly, right now I'm trying to save on gas and put money away for those 2 months that I'm out of work. So it's better for me not to go hopping off to God knows where, even on my days off. Like, I run errands, and otherwise I stay as still as possible so I don't spend a lot of money on gas. I do not go to the gas station without putting $100 in this truck, and most of the time the tank is not full. It's a get me through till the next week type of fill up. And that's and hopefully, you know, by the time I hit November, December, I have that money to, like, be with friends. I'm hoping, friends, that I will be with you over the Christmas holiday. So we'll see. The Van Glow says, how old is Felix? The lady said he's about 10 weeks old. So yeah, the information I says he's about 10 weeks old. Yeah. Exoskeleton says, that shirt is so cool. I want one. The Star Wars shirt? I believe Sadie found this on eBay. I got my original. This is a copy of a shirt I had that had a bunch of holes in it. And Sadie was wonderful and actually got me a replacement for that shirt. So now I have a brand new crisp, not holy version of my Star Wars shirt. But I found it in either Target or Walmart. Usually I walk by the men's section because the men's section has all the cool t-shirts. I don't know why, but the t-shirt in the women's section is just not as good. Like, if you like nerd shirts, the best of them are in the men's section, or they have all the printed tees. I think I already read Abby Lim also thinks Felix is a Russian blue. Bunny Plays here. What is up? Says fur babies unite. Marianne says, Dawn, I was just in Oregon and thought of you when I drove by Ashland, which is the last thing you hit on your way out to California. By the way, I'm the lady who just wants to hug a tree, and I did many times at word I can't say, National Forest and Crater Lake. I need to go to Crater Lake before I leave. That is on my to-do list. I want to wait till the end of the season, or at least the end of my contract, not the end of the season, but the end of my contract. And I do want to go to Crater Lake because I do want to go up and see Jaylena and Isaac and Ember before I leave Oregon. But ain't no time for that right now. Schedule's just too crazy. Yay, Lady Bug Out, Riley, and Bunny Plays here says, we'll be there next month. Friends! Yay! Oh no, Miss VG3 says, Smokey disappeared the other day. I posted signs, posted on Facebook, cried. Then she came out of a corner of the garage. Oh, totally nonchalant. She's in big trouble, but I am relieved. I'm so glad you found Smokey. I thought this was going to turn into a sad story. Like, my heart was about to break in the middle of this. I thought Smokey didn't come back. Cats will do that to you. Like, I went out to throw the trash out. And little Felix hadn't moved, so I thought Felix was just gonna stay where he was. And then I came back and Felix had moved, and I didn't know where he was because he's so tiny. I'm like, is there a corner where I don't realize where he is? Oh, he was underneath the front seat, and he came running out. And that's not as bad as, like, people have lost their little animals for a few days and then just had it show up. And Mickey did that to me once too when he was a kitten. Like, he got off of his lead and I didn't know where he was. I'm like panicking, like, oh my god, where's Mickey? Where's Mickey? Where's Mickey? And then this little cat comes bounding over to me, meows at me, like, dude, I'm right here, and then goes running off to the tree that he was. Oh man, they drive us crazy. You're like, oh my god, where'd my baby go? Where'd my little fur baby go? Abby Lynn says, what color are Felix's eyes? Well, they're closed right now, so I don't want to poke at them. They look gold, but then they look like they were changing colors. Oh no, yeah. Heather says that's Mickey's kiss my arse pose. Because he's like, I don't want to deal with you right now. um, Julianne says, have any of your Nomad YouTube friends come to see you there? People have not, people have been in the area and wanted me to meet them, but I don't think they got it. Like, I'm pretty much very tied to the festival right now. So even if you're in the area from your perspective, I can't just go hopping off and like meet people. So there've been people in the area who wanted me to go meet them, but it wasn't really possible in sort of what was going on with me at the time and my work schedule and all that. But nobody specifically said, hey, where are you? I will come where you are, type thing. Like, that just hasn't happened. And it's totally fine. Like, people are also, like, I don't expect people... And I was, like, when rehearsals first started, like, I was not in a space to, like, hang out with people. I think now I am, to sort of like figure out where those times exist. But at the beginning it was like, how does the world work? Okay, I'm here, what's my job? Like, please value me, please see me as a good worker. Like, there's a lot of that. Leslie Hughes says, usually Russian blues are quite stubby in their build with short legs and ears, wide faces. I mean, we'll see. I also think it's really hard to judge kittens, especially when a lot of things are similar among the breed. Like, usually as they get a little bit old, because you might think they're one thing and then they're like, whoa, okay. Like, unless you go get a blood test or like, you got like an actual like breeder cat, which I don't think anybody should do. There's enough homeless cats out there. If you're like, I will search at rescues for a specific breed, either for temperament or personality, I think like that's fine. But like cats or dogs, like there's so many that need homes. Like, if you can avoid doing the breeder thing and find, just an animal that needs a home, I think that's always the better way to go. I mean, if you're really like there's people who like have allergies, so they need like a hypoallergenic dog. Like, I totally get that. But if you're just like, I want an animal and it could be any animal, I always feel like it's good to keep your options open and just like be open to an animal that needs, a person who wants them. I understand having size restrictions as well, depending on your living situation. Like, I want a pit bull. I freaking love pit bulls. I think they're adorable. They're the sweetest dogs I have ever met. I want a pit bull, but I would not want a pit bull to be restricted to living in this box truck. And I know people have pit bulls in very small rigs, but especially with me having this job where things will come up where I have to be away or like locked down for many hours, it's honestly easier on the cats than it would be on the dog, so yeah. That's my spew about pets. But I want a pit bull. Like, if I could have a dog, I would have a pit bull. Because I think they're adorable. I love, like, they have the whole body wiggle. Like, pit bulls are great. I've wanted a pit bull for a while, but this is not the right situation to bring a pit bull into. I've talked about dogs in front of my cats. He has a tiny little face. Look at his little tiny, like, let me see. Hey, Blue. Why'd I call you Blue? Because people talking about Russian blues. Felix, let them get a good look at your face. Let's see. He has a little stubby nose. He has a very long tail for a kitty. He has a very long tail. Nope, he's still ignoring us. Mickey's still like, my back is to you. So where was I? Princess Pamela says, it's going to be so fun when they start play wrestling. I mean, if we can get Mickey just to come down and not hiss at him, that would be great. If he could just come down and be like, cool, you exist. Yeah. Maddie, what's up? Maddie Van Halen in the chat. Mary says, hi, Dawn. Didn't know you were live. I caught you quite by accident. I didn't know you were looking for another cat. I guess that you really like animals. Enjoy. I love animals. Like, it's not even like I've loved animals since I was a little kid. When I was a little kid, I would tell my mom that I was going to rescue all of the animals that were going to be killed, and I was going to have a big mansion, and I was just going to fill it with all the rescue animals. And she said, good luck, Dawn, because she knew how much it would cost to have a house big enough for that. And she just let me have my dream that I was going to rescue all the animals and have this giant mansion where I could rescue all the animals. And she said, go on, Dawn, with your delusions. That's so great. So right now I have two. And I have cats, which my mom wouldn't let me have because my mom was a strict dog person. She was not a fan of cats. She didn't hate cats, but she that was not her pet of choice. She was a hardcore dog person. And kind of weird around cats. It has 4 legs and fur. I want to know it. I also liked hamsters, and eventually I even liked, pet rats. So yeah. To say I wanted to be a veterinarian when I was a kid, and then I realized veterinarian doesn't mean play with animals all day. Like, you actually have to do the doctoring part. And so then I got disinterested in being a veterinarian. Let me see. Sarah says, our orange tabby climbed above a closet. I searched the neighborhood for hours. Oh, poor thing. Yeah, there's been a couple of times where I was like, he couldn't have gotten out. And I'm like looking around. Then I find him in the weirdest place where I didn't even think he could fit. It's like, you drove me crazy, cat, and you were right there the whole time. IMG says, who cares what breed as long as you love each other. I feel that way too about cats and dogs. Sarah says, I can't wait to come see the show. I can't wait for you to see it. Like, people have been responding so well to The Tempest. I'm really happy with, how it turned out and everything like that. Our cast is, super fun. And I finally got to see the other show, Revenge Song, which is basically a rock opera. Sort of. Crazy rock opera. And it's weird that we share a stage, but I'd never seen what Revenge Song looked like, because basically, it's the same base setup, but their set is still different from our set. And in a way, for our set, because it's on an island, they pretty much just throw moss and stuff over a Revenge Song. And so I'm like, oh, that's what it looks like under our set. And so they do obviously changeovers between the shows, because sometimes Wednesday it'll be a Tempest, Thursday it'll be a Revenge Song. And so the stage crew turns over the stage from one show to the other. It's really cool. It's cool to see both shows because they're so different in the same space. So I can't wait for you to see it, Sarah. I don't know what General 10 was saying, but thank you for getting rid of him, Pamela's World. Leslie Hughes says, rescues are so important. So many sad faces needing homes every time I pick up my phone. My son rescued a pit bull. She was such a beautiful dog. They get such a bad name, and it's just not fair. And I agree. I used to do house surveys as a job. It was a job I found. It wasn't too terrible, except after a while you realize you're putting a lot of miles on your car to do it. But basically you went out, you were assigned houses. It was kind of creepy in a way, because you just went up to these addresses and you took photos of these houses, but it was for insurance purposes, and they knew you were coming. But point being, sometimes you had to go in, sometimes you didn't, but there was a chance of always running into a dog on the property. And I swear, every pit bull I met was the sweetest dog in the world. I love those. They were the best. When there was a pit bull, people would be so afraid. They'd be like, I'm sorry about it, because they knew I was there for there was a loud noise outside. Okay. They knew that I was there for insurance purposes and take photos and measure the house and all that. And if people had a pit bull, they would apologize, and they'd be like, he's really friendly, I swear, but no people. And I'd be like, can I pet your dog? And they're like, sure. And all the pit bulls were absolutely friendly. There was one dog that decided I was not cool, and he was a Rottweiler. He was not a pit bull. Um, so I'm a little bit iffy around Rottweilers now. I'm not really scared of any dog, but I'm a little bit iffy about like a growling Rottweiler because that was the only dog that came after me the whole time I was doing that job. Um, so yeah, I'm a little iffy about them. I've met a lot of good Rottweilers, but I'm a little bit iffy about. But every time I see a pit bull, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so cute. I love pit bulls. They get such a bad rap, and I cannot recall meeting like a terrible one. Um, the Van Glow says he's pretty chill for a kitten. I also think like he's still a little bit scared. Like the lady said he was very timid, and I don't know if that's why he was the one that was left, because like maybe his brothers and sisters were like, "Hey, what's up?" So people just grabbed him up. So the lady said he was very timid. And so I think he's adjusting, and Mickey is also timid, which could be good for both of them because maybe they'll just kind of give each other a wide berth until they decide they like each other or can tolerate each other, whichever comes first. So the lady said he was very timid, so I think like right now he's just like, I'm not sure I want to explore because this is new. And I think that's why, and also the big cat keeps hissing at him, so I think he's kind of like, I'm just going to stay as still as possible because he doesn't hiss at me if I just sit still. But hopefully he'll get braver as he gets used to being here. So yeah. Julianne says, Felix wearing some kind of color? Yes, Felix is wearing a tile sticker because he already got underneath the front seat and I couldn't find him. So I was like, I was going to wait to put a collar on him. I'll put a collar on him then just so I wouldn't panic if he crawled off into somewhere. It is a breakaway collar because he is still kind of tiny. It's actually Mickey's old collar. Mickey also wears a little Bluetooth tracker as well, and it's just for safety. It's like, it's a way to track them down. Now, mind you, again, it's a breakaway collar, so it could break off or get pulled off, but, nothing is perfect. As far as, like, microchipping, Mickey's been microchipped for a while now. I will get Felix microchipped. We still got to go to the vet for the first time, get him through all his shots, get him microchipped, and eventually get him fixed as well. So all those things are pending happening today. No, as of today, he's not microchipped yet. But Mickey is microchipped and also wears a tracker. And I also have my phone number on his harness. So if he has on his harness and he's outside, he also has my phone number like on him. And I'll probably repeat a lot of those things with Felix, just so if something does happen, there are multiple ways for him to get tracked back to me. Julian says, make sure to feed them separately too. Yeah, I'm also, Felix is still on kitten food and Mickey's eating cat food. So right now, I mean, obviously nothing's going to stop them if, it's sitting there and they decide to go eat it. But right now I am not feeding them or even attempting to feed them out the same bowl. And I even have a little water bowl for Felix because Mickey has his water fountain. Again, hopefully as they grow up, they'll be able to share, but right now things are very, very separate, especially because I want Felix to feel like he has his own space while Mickey doesn't feel like he's lost anything. There's just this other thing here that he has to deal with. Sadie Louise said, my husband cut me off after 3 dogs and 4 cats. Your husband is probably like, my boss, who's like, I forget somebody was looking at rescue animals, and my boss comes in and is like, don't show that to my wife, because they both work at OSF, because they know if their wife sees an animal, they're going to try to find a way to get that animal home. There's a 3rd cat they don't have that's been living in their house for a while. Lanton says, I have 2 cats and 5 dogs. Nice. Mary says, my grandmother was a cat lover. I'm just going to enjoy my granddaughter as long as I can. JSW says, I drove my mom nuts. I brought home animals all the time. At one point, we had 4 dogs, 3 cats, and 5 birds. My mom would have killed me. She would have killed me. Sarah says, I love pet rats. They are one of the coolest animals. I didn't expect to like rats, and then I met my friend's rats, and they were cute. And also, they weren't like street rats. They were like cute little pet rats. And their names were, it was Batman names. It was Harley, and what was the other rat's name? I can't remember. One of them was Harley, I know, named after Harley Quinn. But I can't, and it was a white rat. And the other one, I can't remember what color it was. Or what the name was. But they were both Batman names, because she loved Batman. Um... Scratch Travel Cook Repeat says, what is the synopsis of The Tempest? Well, William Shakespeare's The Tempest, there's basically a giant storm where a king and some peeps are on the ship. And then the ship gets wrecked and they end up on this island. And on this island is a guy named Prospero who's a wizard. But he's also an ex-duke of this kingdom who kind of got ousted. And he's on this island with his daughter. Well, the king that was on the boat also had his son on there, the prince, and the prince gets separated from the group. And the prince thinks his dad is dead and everybody else that was on the ship. And the king thinks his son is dead, but he has a few people on the ship with him. I'm skipping some stuff. Well, anyway, the king's son, the prince, meets Prospero's daughter. And it's a little bit of a setup as well. And they kind of fall in love, and a bunch of stuff happens, and there's a bunch of silly events. But at the end of the play, basically, Prospero is found. It was actually one of the guys in the king's court, in fact, his own brother, who kind of set him up to fall because he was trying to get his spot. He even tries to kill the king while they're on the island, so if they do get back, he can get a guy pushed up to that position, basically the king's brother, so he can have that spot, and then they would be like co-conspirators, so he would have to bring him up as well. But by the end, everybody has to face Prospero. Sort of everybody has the answer for the things that had happened in the past. And the king is kind of well, at first he's like, dang, I just lost my son for 2 days. Who's this chick? And he's like, it's my wife. Because that's what happens in William Shakespeare. So basically, yeah, some people get stranded on the island, but those people are there to basically get a reckoning for events of the past that happened in the kingdom. They're from the Italians. Okay, that's my summary of The Tempest. Not the official version an English teacher would approve. JSW says, we have 2 rescue dogs, an English Mastiff, woo, that's a big dog, 115 pounds, a Plot Hound mix, 110 pounds, those are some big dogs, and Molly the boss is a 10-pound cat. I believe that. The cats are always the boss. They boss around the dogs. They're like, I am in charge here. Just so you know, dog. SUV Venturing says, okay, Dawn, my friend, have a good night along with the rest of you. Good night. And I hope I do get to RTR and that we can meet in January, but no guarantees. It depends on my work schedule. Take a nice night. You are on the East Coast. You need your rest. Sadie Louise says, my best friend's Pitty just had puppies. Spaniel and Pitty. So sweet. Oh, I want to see what that mix looks like. JK says, I love Dawn's love for animals. Shows what a good, kind person she is. Oh, thank you so much. Sarah says, what's the range of the tile? Pam has an AirTag and the range sucks. LOL. I think it's about the same because they're both Bluetooth trackers. Now, I will say tiles do this as well, but the good thing about the AirTag is even if you can't find it, if it gets near another iPhone and that iPhone gets signal, it'll be like, it'll drop a pin to where the point that other device picked it up and send it to your phone. So like, the thing about AirTags is they can be triggered if you're looking for them. You can get an address off of any iPhone that comes in contact with that AirTag. Even if that person isn't in contact with Pam's tag, if she walks past an iPhone, it'll register that it was near that AirTag. But both the tile and the AirTag, they're basically Bluetooth devices. So if you're any distance where you lose Bluetooth, you'll lose it. Tile does also have a service, but the difference is every iPhone is pre-built to be pinged to an AirTag. Whereas it has to be a phone that has downloaded the Tile app in order to ping the Tile. But what I like about the Tile is it's louder. Like, Mickey wears an AirTag, and right now I have a Tile on Felix, but Mickey used to wear a Tile, and the Tile is louder, and therefore it's easier to find. The AirTag is like, tick, 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 and then it just stops. Like, the Tile will keep going until you tell it to stop. You know, so there's good and bad to both of them. One of the reasons I have a Tile is just because the sticker is small and he's still a kitten, and so it fits a little better. So I'd feel weird about putting an AirTag on him, because comparative to a kitten's neck, not a cat's neck, a big old grown cat is fine, but comparative to a kitten's neck, like, a AirTag is really big, which is why I just use the Tile sticker for the kitten. Julianne says, you should try to train both of them to walk on a leash like Emmy trained her cat Kelly. Kelly loves exploring on a leash. Mickey is leash trained. Mickey doesn't really walk, though. He goes out on a leash. He says, ooh, this tree is interesting. And then he sniffs that tree for an hour. So, much like Mickey, Felix will be leash trained, but it's not a matter of the training so much as how interested he is in actually walking, as opposed to exploring things in a very close circle, which is what Mickey does. He explores things in a very close circle. He's like, oh, here's a bush. I'll sniff this for 20 minutes. Ooh, here's some yummy grass. I will sit here and chew on it for 5 minutes. Oh, let me walk over to this tree. I will examine it for 40 minutes. Like, that is Mickey on a leash. It's not like, let's go for an actual walk. And the thing about walking a cat is you follow the cat most of the time. Walking a cat, unlike walking a dog, isn't really like dogs go on walks. Cats, you just follow them and keep them from getting into trouble. That's how going with a cat. So you're very motivated by what the cat wants to do. And Mickey is not interested in actually going on a hike. I wanted a hiking cat. I'd watched so many videos on hiking cats. He's leash trained. He is not a hiking cat. And that is of his own free will. If I get him to walk 5 feet, it's a win. The Vanglow says, if you put placemats under each of their bowls and keep swapping them back and forth, it will help them get used to each other's smell. All right, cool. I'll keep that in mind. What time is it? Okay, it's almost an hour. There we go. Maddie Van Halen says, Dawn, when I passed through Ashland a few months ago, I saw the OSF sign and thought of you. Glad you're back on the job. Thank you so much, Maddie. Scratch Travel Cook Repeat says, I didn't realize it was based on Shakespeare. It's not based on Shakespeare. It is Shakespeare. It is a Shakespeare play. One of many. Love his work. Thank you for the thorough explanation. This is first live. Gail Cousin says, good night, sweetie. Good night. Big Bus Buford says, I have 5 pits. I also foster. My bus will pull a small enclosed trailer that has pet food and supply pantry for the nomadic and homeless communities. We're retiring from trucking to do it. That is awesome. And I still want a pit bull. I want a pit bull so bad. Oh, man. Grandma Carrie says, what Star Trek era do you like best? I grew up having to watch the original because my dad and brothers outnumbered me. Star Trek Deep Space Nine is still my favorite Star Trek. I am not caught up on Strange New Worlds. I had this thought in my head I was going to review Strange New Worlds on my other channel, but then I got busy and I ended up not doing it, so I decided I'm going to review the whole series once the series wraps and just do a whole series review on my other channel for the nerd stuff. But I was in YouTube burnout and I needed to focus on doing the show, but that's my plan. But Deep Space Nine is my favorite Star Trek show. Voyager is fine, but I think it lost the premise. I was not a huge fan of The Next Generation in its original airing, but I like it more now. My big issue with Voyager is they had a really strong idea, and they copped out within the first episode. Like, they actually had two factions on a ship stranded, and they could have really played that premise for a while. And what you find out is that the network didn't like that. They really wanted to get to that standard Star Trek show right away. And so you turned over, and they were in like Star Trek, regular Federation uniforms within like an episode or two, and it should have been a longer time of that tension between those two groups, because they were basically enemies forced into being together. But next thing you know, like, everybody's just standard Federation. And that was sort of where I thought Voyager fell off and failed, is it didn't really follow through with its premise. It had a lot of cool episodes, but the premise of them really being stranded, and not only being stranded, but being stranded as two like desperate groups who had very opposing morals, and really having to work through that, they never really committed to that and followed through. And that was sort of a failing of Voyager. It wasn't a terrible show, but it just failed to really follow through on what it could have been a really cool premise. Whereas I feel Deep Space Nine really, like, the idea that they were in this like particular area, that Bajor had so much value, that it wasn't all about Earth, that this other planet with this other culture was really emphasized on, and how they handled so many of the political sort of dealings of it being a space station and not a starship, I thought was really, really cool. And that's what I really loved about DS9. TNG is fine. It's entertaining. I like it more than Voyager. I don't hate Voyager, but if I had to rank the TNG era, which is Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager, I would say DS9 was like the best. All the people who hate Star Trek is hate me right now. Next Generation's right under that, and Voyager was fine, but it didn't follow through on its premise for me. Blah blah blah. Nerdlife. Wrong channel. Miss VG said, I started training Smokey to a harness and leash. She only wants to eat grass, then come in and spit up the grass. Mickey loves to spend 20 minutes eating grass when he goes out on his leash. He's like, oh, here's a great patch of grass. And literally I'm just standing there holding the leash, and he's just chewing grass. CJW says, Dawn, you're glowing. Good to see you. Thank you so much. Sarah says, I am terrified of pinging the AirTag while it's on. Pam, LOL. That is a great point about pinging iPhones. I forgot about that. Oh, another thing. I said, Mickey's not food motivated enough for this, but there's a guy who had a tile on his dog. And what he did was, every time he pinged the tile, he gave the dog a treat. So whenever he pinged the tile, he didn't really have to look for the dog. The dog's like, oh, it's like a clicker. The dog goes, oh, snack. And he just comes running whenever the guy pings the tile, because every time the tile pings, he will give the dog a treat. So the dog just comes. He doesn't even have to call it. I was like, that's smart. CJW says, yes, DS9 is the best. Julianne's going to bed. Good night, Julie. CJW says, Dawn is talking Trek, y'all. Haha, God, I got this. Yay for my Star Trek Vanlife friends. Mary says, Dawn, you're really in your element tonight. Glad to see that bubbly personality shining through. Thank you so much. I'm going to try to get on every week if I can. Sadie Louise says, email the short video of the puppies. CJW says, Voyager also failed to really explore the Delta Quadrant. Yes. The characters spend so much time back on Earth or in the Alpha Quadrant via the holodecks that it's sometimes easy to forget their loss. Yeah. And on top of that, like, they don't have real power they don't have any, like, problems. And, like, later on in Voyager, they meet another starship that was, like, stranded in the same area, and they don't have holodecks. They only have, like, those I can't remember all the details of the show. It's been a while. But they had, like, something that they could put in their brain, but they couldn't the ship didn't support and there was so much about that would have made a more interesting series, that everything was always fine on Voyager. Like, there was no, like, long-term issues with them being stranded and separated from the Federation. And, like, there were kind of times their morals got challenged a little bit, but it always came back to, no, we're great, we're perfect, we're Federation, da 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 da. This is just a standard Star Trek show. It could have happened in the Alpha Quadrant because we're not doing anything interesting with this concept. They had interesting episodes, but they didn't do anything interesting with the concept that made that show unique. So I agree with you, CJW. Joseph Armstrong says, I know you're talking about caps, but I'd like to know, are you playing on your Switch? I have not touched the Switch since probably the first 2 weeks of rehearsal when I was obsessed with Mario Kart. I've been meaning to download Cuphead and try that, but like honestly, since the first 2 weeks of rehearsal, I haven't really had a lot of time for the Switch. Sadie Louise, thank you for the cat treat fund. Maybe Mickey will appreciate it, even though his back is still to me. But Felix is still over here, like, in this spot, hanging out. Hi, buddy. All right, I'm gonna wrap this up. Go. Sarah says, this is genius. I'm going to start working on giving her a treat when it pings now. You are lucky to have a food-motivated cat. Because unless Mickey's in the mood for snacks, like, he is so not food-motivated at all. And Felix is still too timid for me to find out how food-motivated he is. Mickey's like, I'm not in the mood for snacks, so I don't care. And then other times he's like, cool, snacks, but you have to throw them because I want to chase them. That's how he likes snacks. You throw it, and he chases it, and then he captures it, and then he's happy. But if you just try to give him a snack, he's like, this is stupid. I don't want it. All right. We've been on here for a minute. I'm going to try to start going live every week again, and also dropping some other videos in between that. The live shouldn't be too hard. I just need to get back in the flow of sort of editing and stuff like that now that the show is up. Thank you to everybody who dropped into this live. For a while, I was like, people have forgotten me. Nobody's going to come. But people came. You've met the new little one who's still figuring out his life. And the grumpy cat has back to me, not talking to me right now. Hi, Mickey. How you feeling? Have you forgiven me yet? Huh? Have you forgiven me? No? All right. Good night, everybody. Have a good evening. Wait, where's the button? It's somewhere. Bye.